Carl and Brendan here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's 10 things. 10 things we love about heavy metal fans. Please do take this all with a pinch of salt. We are metal fans, so it's things we love about ourselves, and later, 10 things we hate about ourselves as well. We're part of the scene. We get it. We're cool. We're down with the kids. But that doesn't mean there aren't things we dislike later on and we love, which we're going to talk about now. 10 things I love, 10 things you love. Let us see what we've got. I'll get us started then with basically a really easy one. And we have no uniform. Now, I'm not talking about like a work uniform or and so on, that sort of things. I'm talking about the fact that you can go to a gig and see any variation on it. You can see someone wearing a long black leather jacket and spikes all over himself, to a bloke wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, to another person wearing a suit, to a woman that looks like she was pulled from the fucking 80s directly. Day-glow skirts and tops and frizzy hair, you name it. All of that. It's not a uniform. There's nothing. Whatever the show is, goth, stoner, rock, metal, black metal, death metal, it doesn't matter. There's no uniformity about it. Yeah, that's it.
Agreed. I was going to say my number one would be anyone who says the line "down with the kids."
Down with the kids.
Actually, I'll kind of stay on the. I was going to say fashion, but it's not so much fashion. But you know, while we're hardly trendsetters, we definitely have our own style, which involves mostly a lot of black jeans, boots, or trainers, which is pretty much perfect for me. And I particularly love when, you know, if I had to get dressed up because we're going, say, to a family party or a pub outing or whatever. The only tough decision I face is which band t-shirt to wear. You know, the same decision that when you go to a gig is like, what band should I champion tonight? But, you know, I'm a fan of our simplistic fashion, and I'm a fan of the championing of the bands, and I love the fact that, you know, everyone else is, you know, ironing their Ben Shermans or whatever the shirt makers of these days. I don't know, that's probably gone back in time a little bit. Ben Sherman's son, Johnny Sherman.
Yeah, fashion.
But I don't know, maybe probably Ben Sherman still. You know, and I can literally go upstairs and I'm just like, there's my jeans, there's my boots, and then I need an hour for which t-shirt I'm wearing.
And I'll add here as well that like me, Brendan will have no doubt countless t-shirts bought for years, gigs and online and all that kind of thing. Yet somehow regularly we will both walk out to the same gigs or the same bloody outing, the same family party, wearing the exact same fucking t-shirt.
Yep, same t-shirt, same hoodie,
yeah,
same hat.
My second one then is it's no judgment on looks, and we're talking about your style, personal look and stuff like that. You can have long hair, you can have short hair, you can be rocking a skullet. We all love Devin Townsend for that once upon a time. You can be bald. You can look like you slept in a fucking ditch. You can roll in from a festival literally like you didn't even sleep that night. Or you could spend hours preening yourself, making yourself look like the most model-like thing in the world. And similar to the dress sense, the uniform side of things, no one gives a flying fuck. No one cares when you're headbanging, what's going on with you.
Yep. This notion that we have of wearing our colors, really, this, you know, and I may be wrong on this, talking purely from a metal perspective and not really knowing what happens in other genres, but I always feel that we're pretty exclusive within metal in the way that we champion our music via the medium of displaying it all over your body, essentially, whether via tattoo or a band t-shirt or patch jackets or jewelry. I just don't really see it with other styles, you know, and you don't really walk down the street and see somebody bowling down the road wearing a Stormzy t-shirt with a Kanye West hat. And I did point out that I don't know if either of them are still relevant. So if anyone's going, oh, Kanye West, he's so old. Yes, you're right. but you know what I mean? Like, you don't really, you know, see it. Like, you can always tell a geezer that's a metal fan, not necessarily because they'll have long hair or anything like that, but we'll always have a band t-shirt on, always. It might be a 40-year-old one from a concert back in time, or it might be a band you've never heard of. But you can always look and see, like, the metalers always wearing their band clothes. And just don't remember, you know, we've all done it. We've all, like, popped a blue or whatever, right, a year ago, you know. But you bowl around a shopping centre, you don't see all the trendies walking around wearing their Taylor Swift t-shirts and their whoever's big right now, you know, kind of hats or anything. I feel like we're quite unique in that we you know, like I said, we kind of wear our colours. You know, we champion our bands.
I'd have to teach an old man, someone in the comments. Am I correct in thinking that most like sort of mainstream artists like that don't release sort of band T-shirts, what we're talking about, but actually end up designing clothes? So like you could be wearing a top that's just colors, whatever, but it was designed by Taylor Swift's company or something like that. I think that's kind of what they do.
I think that probably happens like when you get to a certain scale, doesn't it? You know, I don't know. It's hard to know. The only thing I know is what I see, and I don't walk around going, I wonder who that rap star on that T-shirt is, or that pop star on that T-shirt is.
True.
Do you know what I mean? You don't see like armies of people, you know, you see it on a BBC show or something like that, of all the armies of people who've maybe gone to watch Stormzy at Glastonbury and they're all wearing Stormzy shirts.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. But that's because they know gig etiquette.
Yeah, exactly.
To the Stormzy event.
Hey, no one at Glastonbury knows gig etiquette, waving them big fucking flags in front of everybody.
Oh, let's not get started on that bollock. Kind of similar you touched upon as well, but I think this is so fucking cool. We have got to be the only fan base in the entire world that sees a person rocking a 40-year-old T-shirt that was bought in 1980 something at the show that person was at, and we go, wow, you're so fucking cool. It's a 40-year-old T-shirt.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like, I would imagine be called skanky or something, like wearing a 40-year-old T-shirt in another environment.
Imagine you're rocking a 40-year-old Ben Sherman shirt. It's not going to look good.
I was to say, I think I probably got one. Nice simple one next. Then we'll get into the pits. Then just good mosh pits. You know, good mosh pits full of good people are just the best thing, man. You know, aggressive but without intent to harm, helping each other up, smiling, laughing, generally having a blast. Just metal fans in a good pit to a good band is probably one of the greatest things in life, to be honest.
Yeah, we've been in our fair share, both good and bad. More good than bad, I think. Yeah, mine's tying into that as well, and it's pit etiquette. I love the fact that at a certain point, whenever the first pit happened, whenever the first circle pit happened, everyone was spinning around, banging into each other, knocking over and falling over, and someone went, guys, we need rules. We need simple rules that everybody, regardless of their age or position in life, will know, even without ever being spoken, which is, you know, someone falls over, pick them up. Don't be swinging your elbows. You know, there are certain genres that haven't quite learned that, but pit etiquette in general, the fact that just exists and is adhered to by most is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just another nice little short one on the pits as well. When it's just the moments in the pits, you know, the little moments that metal fans contribute to, whether it is the rush to help somebody up or the insane effort of 4'3" girls trying to lift a 20-stone bloke up just because he's desperate to crowd surf, or lifting people in wheelchairs. You know, all those little things, man. You just see the metal fans doing all these things. It just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, I agree. There are some iconic moments that have been created simply by people being decent.
Yeah.
Tying into that then, and just generally at most shows, most metal gigs you'll go to, festivals and so on, there's always this feeling of a sort of safe environment when you're in the company of others that kind of live the same life as you or listen to the same music and so on, and it ends up feeling quite like a community. There's a reason why the likes of Bloodstock have sold themselves on that community-based aspect, and that everybody goes, yeah, I want to be part of that, so I'm going to contribute to it in some way, even if it's just being a decent human being.
Yep. Yeah, and just generally metal fans, like in these environments within the community arena, can be a friendly bunch. You know, I've had many a good conversation with a stranger in a smoking area or a queue for the showers, even just a smile and a hi while lugging bags back and forth to a car, or a joke with waiting at a bar or with a person working behind a bar at a festival. You know, it's just those moments when this kind of fabled metal family looks like a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's really nice.
Yeah. And there's some things we've done. My next one is some of the things we've done out there. And it's the headbanging in time. It's that wonderful synchronization of X amount of hundreds, sometimes thousands, if at a festival, where the riff is hit, the breakdown's kicked in, something is occurring that's required. So Rob Flynn has screamed, bang your fucking heads, motherfuckers, for the 100th millionth time. And you look and you see this sea of everyone at that particular point for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it takes, just what it's headbanging in general. The fact that that's just a metal thing, a rock and metal thing. Yeah. But to get it so that everybody, this band on the stage has written something that everybody knew at that time to do exactly the same thing. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so what should we go for before I get into my serious shit? Nice easy one again. Then just the fact that we're collectors. It seems, or we seem to be collectors. You know, it's great to see so many metalheads that still collect music in particular, whether on CD, cassette, vinyl. You know, I think it's great. I'm a collector myself, more of vinyl these days than anything else. But I think it's a fantastic thing to do. It's fun to do. You get some really cool items, but also you help bands out. You know, and it's all the reasons, the fact that there are metalheads that do collect this stuff is why bands even bother still publishing on those formats. You know, so I'm grateful for metal fans for doing that, because if they didn't, I probably wouldn't be able to get stuff for my collection.
Agreed. And the one that really comes to mind for that is cassettes. You know, there's absolutely no good reason for bands to be releasing their music on cassette in 2021. Yet thanks to collectors, I get to collect the cassettes. The horns. You know, Ronnie James Dio back in the day, this is synonymous with us, with heavy metal. And it's a universal symbol. And it's a requirement when you're at a band and they say, put your hands in the air. Most people would do that. But we all know that's not what it means. It means that. And we know it, and we use it as a greeting. We take photos, you know. I don't think there are many pictures out there that have me and Brendan in them where one of us isn't doing that in some way, shape, or form. And there are even variations on it, be it that, the two Sweet Me Bro and stuff like that. It's always the horns. And it's the sign of the devil that has been adopted into metal.
So, beer in one hand, devil horns with the other.
Hawaii.
I guess a bit of a fun one, but just the unashamed binge drinkers, especially at festivals. I think there's very few sights that make me laugh quite as much as the 6 metalheads dressed in mankinis lying face down in a puddle of mud in a pathway, completely dead to the world after a heavy night, while the rest of the festival steps over them gently and carries on like normal.
Yeah.
You know, or the half-in tent sleepers after too many beers, or even the odd sleep on top of the tent guy because I just can't get this zip open.
Yeah.
And, you know, the metal fan in the festival environment, when he goes too hard, but they're just like, you know what, I'm here, I'm having fun, I'm with my family, I'm going to get smashed, and I'm going to sleep in this path.
Incredible.
It's funny.
It is incredible to see. And whatever anyone else thinks they can hold a beer, go meet a metal fan at a festival and see what holding your drink's like for real. Kind of tying into sort of us in general as well. And it's just the alternative side of things, and that fact that we're often seeing, you know, throughout eras, whatever style of music has been sneered at in some way by the mainstream, whether it be goth or emos or scummy Satan worshippers or church burners, if you like the black metal side of things, whatever we've always been sneered at in some way. We've all heard the same thing, be it, that's just noise, isn't it? Or you'll grow out of it, bollocks, that sort of things. And that we're not considered normal. Whatever normal means, that is often attributed to not us, basically. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We've embraced it.
Yeah.
We own it.
Why it's alternative?
So my next one then is just a kind of loyalty, I guess, to heavy metal. And I love the fact that once you're in, you're pretty much in. You know, and you're pretty much always in. I'm sure there are people out there, but generally what I've found is that you become a metalhead, then you explore deeper and heavier into metal. You know, until you get to your limit, and then you stay there. I don't know anyone personally who's ever kind of got into metal, gone to a few shows, really got into it, and then gone, oh, do you know what though? But I just heard this banging pop song, and in fact, I've decided I'm going to step back that way, and then they've just never got into, you know, they've given up on metal and gone a different direction. I just don't think it happens. I think, like, you know, once you're in, man. You know, you get your favorite bands and involving lists, you support them, you buy their merch, you champion them, you try to make others like them too.
Yeah.
You know, I love the loyalty to the craft. Yeah,
you're right. It's particularly, I think a lot of it helps that our bands have such longevity. So if you do find a favorite band, it's not like they're going to disappear most times in the next year or two. That's the thing, you know, when you think of pop and you think of the big hit as a pop, it always comes a period after, say, 5 or so years where one of them wants to break out and go do their own thing, and that causes a schism in the band, and then they split and so on. It doesn't really happen with us.
No, but I think that's partly as well because, like, the music's made to last.
Yeah.
You know, you and a band grows with you. Whereas often, you know, I mean, it's probably being unfair to all genres, but say in pop, you know, the bands have their 16-year-old fans, and then the band break up and move on. But the next band, the 16-year-olds now become 18-year-olds, and they have a different band. And then there's a new wave of 16-year-olds for a new band, and you don't kind of just have a band and then have them for life. You know, watching the band change as you change. You know, it's weird.
We do actually have that problem in the sort of pop punk era, pop punk style of music, which is
but that's not metal.
Appeal to a certain age, and then it becomes, like I said, the idea of Good Charlotte. When we did a track by track for Young and Hopeless, imagine Good Charlotte coming out live now in their 40s, singing some of the angsty bullshit that's on that album. You'd cringe.
Yeah, it'd be like a Papa Roach doing Last Resort. I always felt that, like, that must be so weird. Like if they do a tour when they're 60.
Well, you could always go listen to the remix version.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Kind of tying into that as well, and it's pride in the music you listen to, and the passionate defense often comes with that. Yeah, there's faults with that, and we can get into that in another video, but that general, you know, I love my metal and I'll defend it to the death is, I don't see that when any other, maybe except for progressive rock, that lot are like ardent fucking, you will not say nothing bad and so on. Metal is very much that the case. Yeah.
Cool. Should we get a bit deeper then on the next one? I like how it seems to be a growing trend in metal to openly discuss things like anxieties and mental health, both from bands and also fans. And not just anxieties and mental health, but also in the attempts to champion things like equal rights for genders and everything like that, you know. A lot of work still needs doing, and I'm very aware of that. But it is great to see metal fans, I think, leading the way, you know, and the fact that, you know, they can feel comfortable to jump on a forum and say they suffer from anxiety. And it's massively heartening to see fans within the metal community rally around and offer reassurance, to see bands much more openly discuss their own issues, because I think that is probably the starting point that then gives a fan the courage to do the same. Absolutely. So as the world continues to press people to try to talk about your issues, because that's the only real way to kind of get to take step one towards them ever being resolved in any way or managed, I kind of feel like we're ahead of the game here, with people already starting to feel like I can just come out and say, John, what, guys, I'm feeling shit today. Yeah. And people will come, they'll rally around you on the forums, they'll ask if you're okay, they'll send you messages. You know, it's great. It's a really cool thing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's very heartening, as you say, and it's something that seems to be developing week by week in new directions. Yeah. My last one, Dan, and it's just genres, is that, I mean, I know all other music has genres, breakdowns, so you can have your hip hop, but hip hop is the umbrella, and then you've got stuff coming off it. But I swear to God, we are the worst.
I always assumed you'd have hip hop, and then you'd have hip, and then over here you'd have hop.
Yeah, we are the worst. And it makes sense when you sit back and look at it. And we're talking everything from black metal, death metal, post metal, punk rock, hard rock, prog rock, all this wide array of obviously different music still comes under the banner of heavy metal. And that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it is. Okay, my last one. So this is one that I didn't know what to write. So I started writing a random thought, which I do sometimes. I write a random thought, and then that will be enough to give me the inspiration for an actual thought. But for some reason, I just kept writing with this, and it ended up turning into something that felt like a presidential speech.
Okay.
You know, but a good one. Not like, I'm not talking Donald Trump here. We're talking like
Joe Biden.
Talking like Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, really putting yourself up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't really class Joe Biden as a. It's not really
Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery. Brendan.
Oh yeah. I'm probably not going to abolish any slavery with this. But I just wanted to give a bit of backstory, because it sounds like I got really preachy, but I didn't mean to. I didn't even know what to fucking write. So it's part irony, I guess, but I do mean it. I like the bravery of a metal fan, scorned by society, an image mocked by the media and pigeonholed in films, yet we love it and defend it fiercely from those who don't understand through fear. Especially at a young age, when it's so easy to jump on the bandwagon and follow your friends, we made choices differently. We found a passion that spoke to us and we went with it, all in and all the way. We chose thinking music rather than the sounds of the mindless. We chose to challenge the world, not follow. And then I ended with, we are great. There you go.
It was like Roosevelt, but the last part about "We are great" was very Donald Trump.
Do you reckon so?
Make metal great again.
That's it. Get the hats.
Or
what's that? Mga. Oh no, that sounds like that band now, doesn't it?
Yeah. If we want to put out there, was a bit Corbyn-like as well for our own country. Careful.
Was it? Well, I'll rewrite that then.
Of course. There's our 10 things we love about heavy metal fans. Do let us know some of yours in the comments and check back for 10 things we hate. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?